If you're new to flying and want to know the terms that'll help you navigate an airport, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I'll be breaking down the essential airport terms and phrases that you'll need to know to help make your airport experience more enjoyable and less stressful. So let's get right into it with the first term you'll need to know, which is the term terminal. A terminal is a section of the airport where you go before your flight leaves or the place you enter after getting off your flight. Large airports are usually split into multiple terminals, sometimes even up to 4 to 6 different terminals. Major airports like Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago all have multiple terminals, and each terminal has all the facilities needed to operate individually. You can find out the right terminal for your flight by checking your booking confirmation or looking up the flight number either on the airline or airport's website. Within airport terminals, you'll find gate numbers. Gate numbers refer to the exact location within an airport terminal where your flight is departing from. Each flight departs and arrives at a different gate. Gates are numbered, and usually each airport terminal contains about 20 to 100 gates in total, depending on the size of the airport. The next term is concourse. Concourses are parts of airport terminals, and each one houses about 5 to 20 different airport gates. It's just a way for airports to split their terminals into smaller pieces so it's easier for you to find the right gate. Usually each airport terminal has about 2 to 10 different concourses, and they are numbered with letters such as A, B, C, and so on. When you find out which gate your flight departs from, you'll need to find out which concourse it's located in, and then follow the directions within the airport. The next term is check-in desk. You usually find check-in desks right after you enter the airport. Passengers who haven't checked in online will need to check in at the check-in desk. They're also used for checked luggage. Passengers who need to have their luggage checked with the airline will need to go to the check-in desk and hand over their luggage to the airline employees. Check-in desks usually open 2 to 4 hours before the flight departure. Some airports, however, will have luggage drop-off points, which are useful for people who have checked luggage but have already checked in online. That way you can avoid waiting in long lines at the check-in desk. As far as the airport itself, there are 2 types of airports, an international airport and a domestic airport. An international airport has all the facilities needed for arriving and departing international flights. This usually just means that the airport has customs and immigration facilities, which I'll cover these terms here in a little bit, and that their staff sometimes are trained to speak multiple languages. A domestic airport, on the other hand, is an airport that only accepts flights within the same country. It doesn't have any customs or immigration facilities, therefore it cannot accept any international flights. Let's now talk about airport security. Airport security, or TSA security if you're traveling within the U.S., is part of the airport where all passengers are screened for dangerous and prohibited goods. You'll need to go through security once you have received your boarding pass and have dropped off your checked luggage. Only passengers with a valid boarding pass are allowed through security. During security, a security officer will check your ID and boarding pass, and then you'll need to remove all electronics larger than a cell phone from your bag, as well as your bag of liquids and gels, and place them in a security bin. You also need to remove your shoes, jackets, belts, and anything else containing metal, and then pass through these screening machines. Once you're through security, you are then free to head to the gate. If you rather experience an easier process of going through security, then I would encourage you to look into getting TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. TSA PreCheck and Global Entry are both paid programs that you can enroll into, and by participating, you can wait in shorter, expedited lines at security and take off fewer items when going through the scanners. I do have a full video that covers both of these programs if you want more information about them, so be sure to check out the video links down in the description. Whether you're going to the airport to catch a flight or are picking someone up from the airport, there are 2 terms you need to know. The first term is the arrivals area. The arrivals area is an area where passengers arrive after leaving their flights that recently landed, and where other people can come and meet them. The arrivals area is going to be located on the first floor of the airport, just outside of baggage claim. Now, if you're picking someone up from the airport, you could just park at a designated parking area and meet them inside the airport at baggage claim. But most people just pick up curbside just outside of the arrivals area. For security reasons, you can't just park at the arrivals area and wait for the person you are picking up to come out. But most airports now have cell phone waiting areas where you can just park outside of the arrivals area and wait for the person you are picking up to call or text you that they are outside waiting for you. The next term is the departures area. The departures area is the area of the airport which deals with outgoing flights. It contains check-in desks, baggage drop-off desks, security, gates, and the transit area. When you arrive at an airport for an upcoming flight, you'll need to go to the departures area. For those of you who will be flying internationally, you'll have to go through what's called customs and immigration. You may have to go through this for every country that you enter, even for a connecting flight, or at least at your final destination, and for your return flight back to your home country. Customs and immigration is part of the airport where passengers arriving from international flights are screened. The customs officers check to make sure you have the proper documentation to be able to enter the country, check for any illegal items as well as any goods that may be prohibited from entering the country, and any goods that you may have to pay a tax on. The tax you would have to pay is what's called import tax, or also called customs duty. This is a tax that sometimes passengers need to pay for importing items from another country. When you go through customs and immigration, the officers will look at all the items that you are bringing into the country. If they are over specific limits, the officers will ask you to declare them and pay a customs tax, usually between 5 to 30%. The next term that goes along with import tax is what's known as duty-free. When talking about duty-free items, we're talking about items that are purchased within the airport from the duty-free shops. They're called duty-free because this area is considered international, so no additional taxes have to be paid to governments, which makes them slightly cheaper. You can bring duty-free items on board your flight, and they are excluded from the 311 rule. A couple of other terms to know is the term landside and airside. Landside is the part of the airport that's accessible by the general public. It includes everything up to security, including check-in desks, baggage drop-off points, ticket counters, info desk, and arrivals. The other term is airside, also called the transit area or secured area. Passengers need to go through security to be able to enter this area, which is why it's sometimes called the secured area. For most domestic connecting flights, you won't need to exit the secured area since you stay in the secured area when departing and arriving from an airport. International flights, however, are a little different. Depending on the country you are entering, you may be required to collect your luggage in addition to going through customs and immigration. Doing this may force you to leave the secured area and require you to recheck your luggage and go through security again. If you find yourself with a long layover, a good way to spend your layover is at an airport lounge. Airport lounges are luxury areas of the airport, and they are usually accessible by people participating in frequent flyer programs or who are paying for a day pass to enter the lounge. Airport lounges are usually equipped with showers, fine dining, sometimes even separate rooms for sleeping, massage chairs, and similar extras. If you have never visited an airport before, you'll notice within the airport what's called a moving walkway. Moving walkways are used in large airports to speed up the time it takes for passengers to arrive at their gates. Because airports are so large, it can often take 20 to 30 minutes to get to your gate, which is why airports use moving walkways, which essentially are long vertical escalators. Another important term to know is the Escort or gate pass. An Escort or gate pass is a special document that will give you access to the secured area of the airport without needing a boarding pass. This could be to accompany a minor, an elderly parent or relative, or a person with special needs. This can be issued by either the airline you're flying on or by the airport themselves. If you find yourself in need of transportation to be able to get to or from the airport, one of the ways you can do this is with the use of an airport shuttle. An airport shuttle is usually a taxi, minivan, or bus that offers a shared ride from the airport to the nearest city center. They're usually cheaper than hiring a taxi or Uber, but more expensive than using public transportation. If you're staying at a hotel that's close to the airport, check with the hotel to see if they offer an airport shuttle service that you can use, sometimes free of charge. And if you're interested in knowing how to navigate an airport for the first time, check out my full guide on how to do that. I made it with the new traveler in mind, so it's easy for any new traveler to understand. And also be sure to check out the rest of the video series to learn more airport terminology. Just click or tap the screen to view either video. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.